out. And as soon as I see that it is started recording, I'm going to get started. And I think it has. So this meeting is being recorded. And by continuing to be in this meeting, you're consenting to be recorded. Okay. So just a disclaimer here and moving on. And I hope you guys are all able to see my screen clearly. And I don't have to go through the rules here. Alexandra, this is going to be your webinar. So please feel free to be on the video. Feel free to interrupt or if you have any questions, any point in time. So I'm going to skip this and we'll move on to the actual agenda. So the first and foremost, faculty introduction. My introduction, I've kind of put it up on there's a YouTube video out there in the classroom, and you can certainly go through my detailed introduction in that video. I have a couple of folks. I have even Kate, who's really helped me put this course together. So welcome, Kate, and thank you for being here with us today. And I don't know, Kate, if you'd like. Sorry, I wasn't sure if you're going to be around, and I don't have anything written here, but if you want to kind of quickly introduce yourself, please do so.
And I think I know all the students in the class this semester, but I'm Dr. Kate Goldberg. I'm collegiate faculty. And so that means that I'm full-time at UMGC, and I've done course development in Data 200, Data 320, Data 335, and now 445. So, just looking forward to this class and seeing how we progress in this class. Every course is different. And so we try to really hone in on whatever makes that learning objective, like what makes it really special, and really try to focus on that for the course. So I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah. Thank you, Kate. So yeah, thank you. As I said, you have a big role to play in building this course, and thank you for that, and thank you for being here. So Alexander and everyone who is listening to this recording, let me tell you that you have a great bunch of folks here really as a support. You have Kate here, who's coming in with a lot of experience and also being supportive for this course development. And then you have Elena, who's been here for a long time. And I'm going to let her also introduce herself, who's going to be the TA for this course. So you've got a great support system here. All three of us would be looking for your success, want each of you to be successful in this course. And so, yeah, you're going to be here. So with that, let me have Yelena take over and introduce herself. Yelena, we could barely hear you. I'm sorry if I'm the only one, but I couldn't hear you well.
I've been supporting numerous programs at UMGC for 14 years. I did the
You're still cutting in and out, Yelena. It's very faint.
Right. I've been supporting programs at UMGC for 14 years. Data analytics and data science. I look forward to the course. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I know it was a little choppy, but I think we got the gist of it. So I can certainly share more about you. So just in case not everyone was able to hear Yelena, she has got a lot of experience. Some of you may have already worked with her in the past, and if you have not, well, this is the starting point, especially if you are going to be moving on and really taking the advanced courses in data science, data analytics, then you will be working with her a lot. Let me tell you that. And I've worked with her as well. And at one point when I did my master's, she was my TA as well. So that's Yelena for you, coming in with a lot of experience. And that's why, as I said, you've got a great bunch of folks here supporting you for your success in this. So one thing, I will kind of share the UMGC Salesforce system. I'll show you the snapshot of what that Salesforce system, what that ticketing system looks like, which many of you must be now familiar with. But I'll tell you something that you should really know, that maybe at this point in time, the course dropdown in that ticketing system does not show data 445. So in case that happens, and while you are creating a ticket, you don't see that, absolutely not an issue. Just use data T220 instead. and Yelena will still be looking for your tickets, right? Even if it is, but of course, in the description, you may want to, provide it very clearly what this assignment about, which course, and so on, so that she knows that even though you have chosen data 220, the ticket is for data 445. So please do that in your description, okay? And we'll talk more about the US when we get to that slide and I show you the ticket, okay?
If
All
there
right.
any errors, include screenshots.
Sorry again.
No, I said if there any error messages, include the screenshots.
Oh, yes, there is a screenshot in the deck. So I'll kind of get to that. Yeah, towards the end, I will kind of definitely show the screenshot there. So this course, very similar pattern that you may have seen in the past for some of your courses. This course is going to be 8 weeks long, which you probably already know about. And this course is divided into 4 modules. And it is all these 4 modules provides a comprehensive hands-on approach, right? And I want to stress on that. It's a hands-on approach. So right from week 1, week 2, you will be really getting your hands dirty on and kind of doing some practicals here. And that's what, this is completely hands-on. You want to kind of keep that in mind. And what you'll see in module 1, it's going to be big data, and you're going to learn about big data, going to learn about Hadoop ecosystem, MapReduce, Pig, Hive, Flume, and Scoop. So you're going to be learning about the whole Hadoop ecosystem. And as I said, some of you may know this already, and you may think this is kind of basic, you have already learned, but we don't want to make that assumption here, right? Not everybody would have kind of gone through and learned about this. But if you have, well, you are a step ahead here, which is good. But others, we want to all kind of come at the same page, the same level, right? Before we move on from this point. So remember that, similar to, once again, the format that you have seen in the past, there will be a discussion and quiz with every module. And even additionally, most of the assignments and tutorial have a quiz component too. So this is a little different. I want you to kind of make a note of that. And I'll kind of emphasize on this again during the class, as well as during this session as well, when I talk about the assignments and tutorials, that there are quiz for the assignment also, okay? Anyway, we'll get to that. In case this is confusing, we'll talk more about it, okay? Module 2, we'll talk about, so from knowing what is big data, you're then moving on to saying, okay, how do I save this data, right? What are the different tools, technologies, techniques to store big data? What are the different kinds of architecture? And you will learn about that in module 2, right? You learn about some cloud-based architectures. You learn about what are data lakes, data warehouses, NoSQL, and then you'll also learn about AWS. This is where you will start working with your AWS lab and start working with different services where and the lab that is going to make sure that you practice or what you have learned, right? About, and not all of the technologies, not everything like data lakes and data warehouses, but yes, we are going to build a data lake. We are going to throw some data into the data lake. We are going to analyze that and learn how to do some simple analysis on that data. So all that happens in module 2. So once you learn how to store your data, what's next? You want to do a little more processing on it, right? How would you put on some processing, understand what technologies are out there that is going to help you to process your data faster? Remember, you could be working with millions and millions of records, and what are technologies? So this is where you learn about Spark. This is where you learn about PySpark, which is a good combination of Spark and Python. And you must have learned about Python, and and this is where you learn about Spark. You put the two together, and you see the power of PySpark. And absolutely, like you'll not not be able to see the difference that whether you have 100 records or you have 1 million records. The speed at which your data is going to get processed is going to be amazing, right? So your module through, it gets very interesting, guys, right? From Every module is going to throw in things at you that's going to be very interesting, and you don't want to miss the beat, right? You want to take that on, build your knowledge and skills accordingly, right? And see that you are building it on, you're coming to module 3 to learn about processing. So once you've done that in module 4, then you want to learn about another aspect, which is streaming data, right? We all know that, yes, we have lots of unstructured data, lots of streaming data these days. Everything is coming at a very high velocity. And how would you really, trap this high velocity data and see what would companies do? What do organizations do? What kind of technologies and techniques are out there? And how do you do full machine learning on this fast moving data? So this is where you learn about AWS's machine learning service called SageMaker. You learn about Kinesis, which is about streaming. You learn about Glue and Athena and QuickSight for drawing pictures, right? And drawing the different charts, doing the visualization. So all these 4 modules is going to take you through a journey of, knowing big data, storing big data, a bit of a processing and analysis, the simple analysis of big data, and then finally knowing how to do machine learning and also knowing how to really do all that kind of analysis that you want to do on a fast moving data. So this is what you're going to learn in all your 4 modules, okay? So let me stop here and see, Alexander, if you have any questions or anyone want to add anything to what we just discussed thus far.
I don't think so, but I'm definitely looking forward to learning more about all of these. I barely understand most of these terms, so.
Yes, I know. And trust me, by the time you're done with module 4, you will say that, okay, I know a lot more than what you see here on this slide. Trust me. As long as you keep up with it, as long as you promise to be in AWS lab almost every day, you'd say that, okay, this was just a subset of what I know about AWS and all the different services that are out there. So, yep, absolutely. So as we were just saying, okay, we have an AWS lab, and this is going to be your lab. It's called an AWS Academy Learner Lab. So once again, this is like a sandbox for you, and this is the area where you would go in, and I think in week number 3, I'll kind of also mention it to you again. But in week 3, you will see an email come your way. I will be adding you all into this lab and inviting you, right? And I'm doing it on purpose, kind of pushing it out for week 3. That's when everything will get started for AWS, because you have a lot going on in week 1 and 2 that I want you to kind of just get the ball rolling, get into this course, do some of your you have got Hadoop practical to do. You've got things to take care of in the first 2 weeks. I will let you do that. I'll let you get settled with this course, and boom, you'll see all that. You'll be moving on to AWS right after that. So there's an AWS Academy Lab, and you will get the link. You'll get to everything would be set for you. Okay. Moving on. So some statistics about this course here that I want you to kind of make a note of. And I had some reason why I wanted to throw things. I put in all these different statistics here, which I didn't do for the other courses, especially that pointing out that, you want to remember these numbers, 7, 4, 4, 2, right? And 7, there are going to be 7 quizzes in this, and there are going to be 4 assignments for each of the modules. There's 1 assignment, so that's 4 assignments. There's 4 discussions for each of those modules. And then there are 2 tutorials, right? And everything is graded. It's important that you complete each of these quizzes, assignments, discussions, tutorials, without which it's going to be very difficult. See, the tutorials are going to actually build your skill level for what you would need for doing your assignments. So it's going to be very important. Plus, some of your quizzes are going to be based on what you learn from your tutorials. And some, as I said, some quizzes are exclusively for the assignments. So your tutorial is going to set you up on how you're going to do your assignments. Okay, makes sense, Alexander? Any questions here?
I don't think so. I mean, this is pretty cut and dry.
Okay, excellent. Alrighty. So I know this is a very, very dense slide. You can hardly see this slide, and I completely understand. So I've broken it down into three pieces. I just wanted to show you all 8 weeks here, and I'm just showing you a picture of all 8 weeks put together, but we kind of break it down, right? So this is week 1 and week 2. And when you see things highlighted in yellow, which means these are your deliverables, your hard deliverables for each of those weeks, right? Like, for example, week 1, personal introduction. Well, it's not graded, right? So I just want to make sure it's not graded, but something that Kate, myself, and Yelena would be looking for from you. Although we know many of you, but some, at least I may not have met you before, and I would like to really know you before we kind of go further. So your personal introduction going to be very important. Then besides all the reading materials that you have in this particular week, you have your quiz 1, you have your discussion 1, right? And that's going to be the pattern. Your opening week of a module, that is week 1, week 3, week 5, and week 7, is going to have a quiz and a discussion, right? So important to kind of complete your reading materials. The week 2 is typically the week where you will see either a tutorial and an assignment, right? Or maybe both. And for that, there could be some videos that would be put up there. There could be some reading material. We've tried to add more and more videos for you guys, because I know many of you, and including us here, we're all visual learners. We kind of learn by seeing things. And so we've tried hard to really come up with videos and a lot of stuff on the internet that, we want you to also learn how, you see some of this material on the web that you can even explore further. You should be able to also search for things yourself. So that's one thing to kind of keep in mind. And the other important piece that I also want to mention, when you're going through your reading material, you may find that some of the concepts that you would have read early in a previous article, you're going through it again. Well, because they are independent, reading materials, some of them could be little, some of that concept could be repeated. But once again, it's just kind of setting you up to ensure that you are at the level that the author wants you to be in order to finish that article or go through that article completely, okay? So you'll have to just kind of keep that in mind and say, okay, I just read this last article. Why am I reading it again? But yeah, it's just kind of setting you up for it, okay? So that's about week 1, week 2. And then as we move on to this week 3, again, it's the opening of the second module where you will have a video to go through for understanding how you're going to be going into your AWS lab. How are you going to access your lab? So there's a video that I put it up there. It may appear to be long. It's a 15 minutes video, but trust me, I try to keep it as visual as possible and just showing you different steps of how to access it, what you want to kind of look at and keep checking things while you are in AWS Academy Lab. There's quiz 2, there's discussion 2, and then so the other thing to kind of keep in mind is I'll be having a touch point with you all at the end of the first week of every module, which means at the end of week 1, which is exactly a week from now, we'll meet again to talk exclusively about module 1, right? We'll talk about the assignment 1 that is on hand. So this is going to be before your assignment 1 is due. We'll be meeting again in a week's time. We'll meet then after, so we'll meet 2 weeks after next week, right? So we'll meet on the 4th week. We'll meet in the 5th week. I'm sorry. This will be the 3rd. Yeah, we'll meet after week 1. We'll meet after week 3. We'll meet after week 5, and we'll meet after week 7, right? That's going to be the thing. So before every assignment you're going to be working on, we'll be coming here together. We'll be talking about the assignment. We'll be talking about the tutorials on hand. And we'll be taking in any questions. Plus, if there's anything that to be added, right, supplemental, we'll talk about that here in the webinar. So week 3, week 4 is assignment 2, And that, look at that. There's after assignment, there's a quiz, right? So this is where the fun starts. You cannot complete the assignment unless you completed the quiz after the assignment, right? So while you're doing assignments, you will be taking some screenshots. You'll be making some notes of, okay, this is my result. And there are instructions given there that you please make a note of this result, or please, take a screenshot. And that's something that you'll have to do while you're working on your assignment. And that's going to be useful when you do the quiz. So very important that you kind of follow the instructions given in the assignment, no matter how detailed they look, or how dense they look, or how long your assignment description could be. There's a reason why we kind of giving you and putting all that information in your assignment description. Week 4, so week 5 again, it's the so we'll be on the opening week of module 3. And this is where you're going to be getting introduced to Spark, your PySpark. You have a tutorial, you'll have a quiz, and a discussion. So as you can see now, each week is going to get more and more dense and more exhaustive, more and more comprehensive. So you have to keep that in mind as you keep building it. There's no time to procrastinate in any way, or to take some time off and say, okay, I'm going to take my foot off the pedal for a couple of days. It may not work. Trust me. I'm telling you by experience, and I know Kate and Yelena can tell you even more, that taking the foot off the pedal in this course is going to be really fatal. And you'll tell me, right, that if you're slacking any time off. But if you're having difficulties, please, the reason that why all 3 of us are here to support you is to ensure that you pass through this successfully. We all understand there's a lot of work involved here. We understand there's a AWS lab, which is outside lab, which is not within UMGC. You're going to be working on the cloud, and it has its own challenges. As much as there are merits doing that, there are some challenges involved. And we understand that. And that's the reason why we are here. So please do not hold on to your questions. Do not wait for ask questions. Do not wait to raise any tickets. Do not wait to say, okay, if Linesh is, oh my God, it's been 2 days. I've written something to Linesh. I'm not getting anything back. You have Kate, right? You have Yelena. So we are there. Each of us is there. So don't wait. If you don't find one of us not kind of responding to you, look for the other person. But as I said, most of the times I'm going to be looking at your emails. Yelena is going to be looking at her tickets on a daily basis, right? And few times during the day. So we'll certainly be doing that. Okay. So moving on. So that was now 6, 7, and 8 is going to be your assignment 3 for week number 6, along with the quiz. Your week 7 is going to be the starting of module 4. You have a tutorial, you have a quiz, and you have a discussion again. And then week 8, well, it looks like it's going to be the end, and it's going to be easier one. But once again, this is going to be the one which is going to have you work with multiple services. You're going to take the data that is, almost like you're going to simulate seeing like a data in motion. And you're going to, do machine learning. You're going to put up some visualization on the top of it. So it's very interesting, right? So I want you to understand it's going to be very interesting to kind of start working on and work on each of these assignments, including your final assignment, which again comes with a quiz. Okay, so that's your week by week structure of this course. Very comprehensive, very exhaustive. So keep up with it. Okay, any questions, Alexander?
I think my biggest concern is, I noticed this in the syllabus, and then of course we're going through it again, is it seems like through the 8 weeks of this course, we're going through some 8 different languages and tools for working with big data between Glue, Athena, PySpark, stuff like that. Is there any concern at all about being able to use every one of those adequately by the end of the course?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Those are names of the services that you use.
Right.
And most of these services are like mostly plug and play, Alexander. That's an excellent question. And by the way, thank you for asking that question. These are the services that AWS provides us to do some of the work that we want to do. I'll give you an example. Like AWS S3 is like a, like a bucket. Like you can create a data lake out of S3. It's like a repository of data, right? You have your glue that is going to help you to take that data and see if you can add some structure to it so that you can then query this data in some way, right? So these are our tools and techniques that are being, or services that are provided by AWS. So it's not necessary a separate different, like you, not different programming languages, if you will, right? So it's not like saying, okay, I have to learn R, I have to learn Python, I have to learn this. No, far from it. It's not nothing of that sort, but it's much more easier than these learning programming languages.
I think it would almost be the equivalent, not quite, but like if you learned Microsoft Office and maybe you like learned a little bit of Excel, a little bit of Word, a little PowerPoint, a little bit of Outlook, a little bit of Form. That's how I would say, so that if you, this is going to give you an introduction to those, so that if you want to go back and you want to learn more Athena or more QuickSight or more something like that, you could, this would give you a good foundation for you to go learn more about those tools, but they're all inside of AWS.
Excellent. All right, so they're all part of kind of the same ecosystem built in
Exactly.
and built-in tools. Okay, perfect.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Oh, that's a good example. Thanks, Kate, for that addition. Okay, so moving along, as far as your grading goes, I just mentioned, every quiz, your assignment is going to be, really heavy there with 120 points for each assignment. You have your quiz for most on each of these quizzes at 50 points. And then you have your discussion, always the discussion, which has got the highest points. I know it's something that a lot of people not, they take into consideration, but there's 320 points. So if I were you, Alexandra, if I were any of you watching this recording, I would make sure that I get those 320 points, because that's something that you can grab right away and make sure, you can, and you can do that if you've done, going through your reading material, if you've done some homework or some research that's required there, that's 320 points are almost like given. I would kind of want to grab those ASA and make sure that I get those 320 points. But then the others, of course, as I said, assignment along with the quiz is 120 points. So keep that in mind. Okay, so that the total is going to be 1,000 points for the entire course. Okay, I hope it should be self-explanatory. We'll move on to the next slide. So what you'll accomplish, right, at the end of this course. So you'll know big data and Hadoop ecosystem. You'll understand big data storage architectures. You analyze big data to solve a business problem. You'll be able to apply machine learning to big data. You'll be able to analyze ethical issues in machine learning. Very important, right? I mean, that's one thing I may have missed saying, that this course not just kind of helps you to kind of work with AWS and all those different architectures and tools and techniques that we talk about, but also one thing is very important that all companies are now paying a lot of attention is the ethical issues, right? Security and ethical issues are two huge things, that are two huge aspects that every company is now looking at, because lots and lots of these companies are now sitting on piles of data and they want to make sure that it's going to be always in the right hands, right? So ethical issues is one thing to kind of keep that in mind. And then you would also learn about performing streaming analytics, right? Analytics on data that's going to be going at a very fast pace. Okay, so all the different things. So Alexander, any questions on this slide or on the previous one?
I don't.
Okay, excellent. So as far as the success factors, first and foremost, minimum time span, I would say, plan to spend at least 3 to 6 hours. I would say this is the minimum, okay? This is just saying that I will just get things done. But if you are someone who would really, really want to do well, understand this core thing, and use it to your benefit of understanding everything, a lot about AWS, a lot about the services that you're going to be using, then you really should be aiming for spending 6 to 12 hours of your time. And start early, right? Every module introduction, I've mentioned this, start early. And that's going to give you that edge, because if you do that, trust me, it becomes much easier. Even if you struggle with your lab, have some challenges or issues with the lab, with your connectivity, with your computer, with the cloud environment, well, all that can be managed if you would have started early, right? So very important in this particular course. Plagiarism, once again, I think it's at this point in time, you really want to fly solo, right? You've come to a point where you don't need a co-pilot. You can fly the plane all by yourself. And the reason I use that analogy is because it's true. Very soon, you will be coming out with a degree in data science. A lot of things that you are learning in previously that or you'll be learning in this course, you could be doing almost on your own. Of course, there would be a team that you would be working with, but you would be expected to know all this. So doing this on your own, and even if you stumble, right, it's good to stumble. This is the most safest environment where you can stumble, you can have issues. But trust me, if you learn walking here, you'll run. You'll be able to run in any place you go after this degree. So important that you do not get into saying, let me just copy someone's stuff and it's last minute, it's 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock is the submission, let me do it. It won't work. So please do not even think about it. Knowing the labs and the content of this course, please keep that out of your mind completely. And everyone, each of you, think that you're going to fly solo. You'll get a lot of help from us, but please try to fly the plane all by yourself, okay? Participation is the key, right? As I mentioned, be in the class, participate in your discussions, in your activities that could be there, answering to your fellow classmates, helping your classmates. And many times you learn by doing that. So I would always say that let's all be in the classroom. Let's all be here on a daily basis. If not few times a day, at least once a day, to see that, what you need to do in the class, any announcements, or if you can help your fellow classmates, right? And finally, I would say submit things on time, please. Any deliverables or requirements, they're all expected to be completed on time. So do all of that. You just saw that every week is building on the previous weeks, and plus there's so much to do in each week that if you're going to have a carryover of stuff, if you have a spillover, you're not going to be able to catch up soon. So please think of everything that you right from week one, you're going to do, take care of your deliverables and complete them on time and submit it on time, okay? All right, so how to get in touch? Well, there are a couple of ways I kind of just mentioned. You can email it to me. You can create a ticket for Yelena, and I'll kind of show you exactly in the next slide how you can create a ticket and where. But that's another way to get in touch. If you already know Kate, well, you can also talk to Kate as well if you need. But as I said, Yelena and I should be able to take care of any questions or concerns that you may have. Other than that, if you have any other concerns outside of this course, right, regarding your advising, if you need to talk to your student coach or your mentor, then there's this advisor email that you can use, which you probably may already know. I don't need to tell you that, but just for the sake of, and if you need to kind of also contact a program director, that's the link that you may want to use in case, okay? Now, let me show you the screenshot of the Salesforce ticket. So this is the umuc.secure.force.com/web2 case, which you probably have that. If not, it's there on the screen. And this is the view of the ticket. And some of these fields, they kind of build based on what you choose on the top, right? Like, for example, when you start with the class, with the issued the case type, right? One important thing for the case type, please use only UMGC virtual lab support. If you choose anything else, trust me, it's not going to land it in Yelena's hands at all. It may go somewhere and we'll have to literally search for your ticket. Yelena will have to do that. And she would not even know about it, right? So you may be just waiting on getting a response back from her and not finding anything because she doesn't even have the ticket here. So very important that you use the case type that is shown on the screen. Next, you may want to use the subtype as the data analytics, right? Use data analytics, which is going to open up the other drop downs where you need to choose the course name or the number. The program is data, and then the course is whether it's 220. If you see 445, please choose 445. I've chosen 220, and you see that on the screen here because 445 is currently not added, and it's being added at the moment. So it's quite likely that the time that you create this ticket, you may not have that in your dropdown. But either use 445 or you use 220. For the issue, you could just say other issue, right? There are multiple choice there for the type of issue. Just choose other issue. That's fine. What is going to be important is the complete description. We want to actually know exactly what's going on, what have you used, if what kind of environment you have, where did you try it? We know that you're trying it on the cloud, right? But what are you seeing, right? What kind of error? Can you take a snapshot of the error? Can you attach that here, right? See as many pictures if you can provide to Yelena. She would be able to simulate that or try to simulate the problem that you're seeing. So it's very important that you provide as much information and as accurately as possible on the ticket, including attaching screenshots and the other files. Okay, make sense?
And
yeah,
Yelena just pointed out too, please don't call the UMGC help desk. Helpful as they are, they're just frontline support. So they're helping with like email issues and those kind of things. They are not this third level of support that you get for, help with these labs. So that's going to go into a whole nother queue. So that's why she's saying it.
Yeah. No, that's a great ad, Yelena. And yeah, I'll probably share Yelena's email too. One of the things I've also advised the other students, and I did it myself too when I was a student, is to ensure that whenever a ticket is created, just send a simple email. Hey, I've just created this ticket. Whenever you get a chance to respond to it. So in case Yelena is not seeing your ticket for quite some time or on the system, she should see it real time, right? And right after you've created it, she should be able to see it. So if she is not seeing it, she can quickly, either track your ticket or ask you for some more details so that she can track this ticket for you, okay? But that's important. So just keep up with that communication, right? Let's not kind of be on hold for someone. If you're not getting that response quickly for whatever reason, speak up or ask someone. Yes, send email to send it to me, right? Telling, hey, I've created this ticket. I haven't heard from anyone yet, or from Yelena. That's fine. I'll work with Yelena. So that's going to be the key. We don't want you to be on hold for anything because this course is fast-paced. And I'm not saying for the sake of, and I'm not making it up. I'm being brutally honest with you guys. It's a very fast-paced course. So do not, do not let the momentum slide in any way, and do not take the foot off the pedal at any point in time. Okay, so that I'm going to just quickly summarize what we went through. We kind of got introduced to all three of us are here, myself, Kate, and Yelena. We went over the 4 modules. We looked at we understood that there's going to be an AWS lab separately. You will be logging in. You'll be provided that instructions separately. You learned about the number of quizzes, assignments, discussions, and tutorials. You learned about the course breakdown week by week. You also learned about what you will accomplish after you're done with this course. You went over some success factors And it kind of provided you a screenshot of the Salesforce ticket as well as how to get in touch with me and outside with the department. Okay, so with that, opening it up, Alexander, for your questions, or for Kate or Yelena to add anything that I may have missed that's important. So please feel free to do that.
Well, I was gonna say it started from July, where if you call, you're not gonna get the ticket at all. When the student calls, he might not get it for like a week because it comes as an incident. It does not even come in as a case. So
yeah,
Don't call.
do you hear
Don't
me?
call.
Do you hear me?
It fades in and out.
yeah.
I don't know. Don't know how to fix
No,
it.
that's okay. But yeah, the gist is yes. So it's best to kind of communicate. But yeah, that's what you meant, right, Yelena? That's what you're trying to say, that communicate and send emails as and when it's needed.
And do not call the help desk. Submit the
Yeah.
case.
Okay. Yeah. Kate did mention that, Yelena.
Yes.
To not call the help desk, not call AWS Academy or please
Definitely
don't
not
do
that.
that, right? Please. Once it goes there, it's completely out of our hands here. Honestly, Kate, myself, and Yelena would know how to fix any issue that you may have. We'll figure it out. If we don't know, we'll get the help that we need. But 9 out of 10 times, it is quite likely we know how to fix your issue. But if it goes to somebody in AWS or somewhere, trust me, it's going to make a real mess, and it's going to be very difficult. So please trust us for that. Okay. Any questions? Anything on your mind, Alexander?
I don't think so, but I'm certainly going to have questions further down the line. So
okay, I'm sure you would, and that's what we are here for. And we'll keep meeting. As I said, our next touch point is going to be a week from now, after you've got settled down a bit with week 1. We'll meet next Thursday, and then thereafter we'll meet every 2 weeks, right after next Thursday.
I just thought about something that I wanted to make sure the students understood, which is that we have done something a little different with your reading materials this course, which is that we have provided, I'm going to say, like a synopsis of each article in the description of every article. And that's because these articles are very dense. And I know a lot of students have complained about reading materials in the past. So what we've done is really try to give you the essence of what you need to know. Because I think it's, as a student, I mean, I was a recent student. I know what it's like to read a whole bunch of articles and you can't remember, oh, what was in this one, what was in that. So we have distilled it for you. And here's the key, you can search it. So if you're trying to remember, oh, where was it that they talked about PySpark, you could search PySpark, or you could search some particular word that's a key to that article. And that will help you to find that reading, because that is something that I'm always challenged with. So I thought of you guys because I know exactly what it feels like. So that's what we did, was try to distill it.
Thank you for adding that, Kate. Yeah, definitely. I missed mentioning that, but it's very important that you know. The other thing I wanted to also mention that, this is a small class. You have that huge benefit of, having that, more touch points or being a small class to get that attention that you need in this course. You also have the benefit of going through this, an advantage of going through this course and this is the first time we are putting up this course, right, for you all. So we'll be looking for your feedback, we'll be learning a lot from what you guys are going through, right? And sometimes we may have either gone overboard with things or overboard with some material or with lab or with quizzes. We'll look for your feedback. Please be brutally honest and give us your feedback, because we'll be, really looking at your feedback very objectively. Trust me. I would not.
You don't have to wait for the course evaluation either. You can tell us ahead of time.
Yeah,
because we appreciate it. We're
exactly.
data people. We want to know, we want the data so we can make improvements.
Yeah, exactly. And as much as you guys would like that feedback for you, right, when you're doing through each quiz or each assignment. So you would be looking for that detailed feedback, right? The same way here, we would be looking for this feedback from you. And you are the pioneers here, guys. You are going to chart this territory and make sure that this is not just going to work for you, but also for the future students as well. So
Alex is good at that.
okay, good. So we're looking forward to that as well. Okay. All right. So any questions, Alex, or any other additions from Kate or Yelena?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, if not, yep. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, could barely hear you, Yelena, if you're trying to speak.
Oh, if you wait till evaluation, it's late.
I just could hear only if you wait.
Until evaluation, it's late.
It's too late. Yes. If you wait until you, that's what Yelena is trying to say. Please don't wait until the evaluation. And I'll definitely do a mid-course survey. That's something that you probably, Alex, I don't know, probably, yes, you were there for day 220 and you saw that we had a mid-course survey. Same thing here. But once again, as we said, do not wait for the survey. If something is bothering you, if something is that you would want to kind of share with us, please. You could say, Lanesh, I need to talk to you. We'll get on the phone, or I know we'll not have absolutely, Alex, for you. We will not get at the tour in the evening hours, but somewhere which is reasonable time for you, not wake you up and not to keep you awake at like 3 o'clock in the morning. So we'll kind of try to work on that. Definitely. Okay. Anyway, so if no further questions, then I would want to wish lots of luck and wish you good luck for and let's all have a great semester together. Okay. All right. So I'm going to stop the recording and I'll still be around. But thank you all for being, and Alexander especially, for being here and so late at night. And I hope you, after hearing what you just heard, I hope you get a good sleep there. Okay. We want you to have good sleep. But anyway, so I've stopped the recording. And I've stopped sharing. Oh, did I stop the recording? Maybe not. I'm sorry.